It is an honor, of course, to be with you this week as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, as we speak truth about our nation's history.
No. It's not Indigenous Peoples Day. Did you see her say this today? It is officially Columbus Day under federal law, and she works for the government. It is Columbus Day. Just because she wants it to be National Indigenous Peoples Day, what does she think she is, a dictator? I don't care what silly resolution Joe Biden signed. It's Columbus Day. Anyway, this is woke. And when you go woke, you get it wrong.
Since 1934, every October, the United States has recognized the voyage of the European explorers who first landed on the shores of the Americas.
Wrong! Totally wrong. Every October since 1792, they recognized Columbus Day. This is Tammany Hall. It was a huge deal. The 300th anniversary of Columbus making that trip, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and Queen Isabella, and all that stuff. And they issued a commemorative coin. And if you find one of these coins today, you would be worth a lot of money. All right, what else did Kamala get wrong or overlook herself?
Those explorers ushered in a wave of devastation for tribal nations, perpetrating violence, stealing land, and spreading disease.
You know, the Indians weren't the nicest people in the world either, all right? She is glossing over a hell of a lot and seems to be in a rush to lose this election.
We must not shy away from this shameful past, and we must shed light on it and do everything we can to address the impact of the past on Native communities today.
Did she say shed light? Shed light, right? Shed light. No, they're trying to erase history, literally. You've seen it, I've seen it. Taking down Columbus statues all over the country? Are you crazy? Not only that, Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington, you name it. If it was white and a man and great, well, your time's up. Your time's up because Kamala wants a promotion. This is real. You know, Kamala, maybe you'd be more, I don't know, comfortable in academia, something along those lines. You know, nobody else does this stuff. Nobody else does it. Just we do. Joe Biden, President of the United States. Here he is bad-mouthing America because I guess you do that if you're the President of the United States. Oh, we don't have it. I have a beautiful clip of him on Martin Luther King Day saying, I got great insurance just because I'm white and you're black. Are you crazy? It doesn't work that way. This is a good country. And yeah, we have our problems and we've had our things, but take a look at this. No other world leaders do what our leaders do. Talk down America. Kamala Harris talking down America. You think President Xi talks down China or any of these other guys, our adversaries and whatnot? No, they talk up their country, whether they're a dictator or a bad guy or a good guy like this guy, who I believe is the new prime minister of Japan. Again, Kamala, I think you'd be better off in academia. You could go to some liberal school. You could, you'd be a hit. However, she may not be able to go there. After she loses the election, and I think she will, I hope she will, she may have trouble getting a job in college because it looks like she's a plagiarist. Yeah, she's been copying stuff her entire career, going back a long time. And just so we know, right, a plagiarist, what is a plagiarist? Somebody who copies, a copycat. You steal stuff from somebody who's more talented, more learned, more knowledgeable than you. Well, she came out with a book back in 2009, all right? This is back when she was really, really ambitious. She wanted to be the state attorney general of California. She was just the district attorney, and a book and a little appearance on the Today Show could really help raise money, get her some status, and maybe even get her some votes so she could be the attorney general of California.
Now to a woman named one of America's most powerful women by Newsweek magazine as San Francisco's first female African-American and Indian-American district attorney. Kamala Harris has received praise for raising conviction rates against violent criminals while creating innovative programs to reduce crime and prevent repeat offenders. Now she's out with a new book called Smart on Crime, a career prosecutor's plan to make us safer. Kamala, good morning. Nice to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here.
Ooh, she's so excited to meet Matt Lauer. I sense chemistry. And smart on crime, but she's not that smart. She's copied a bunch of stuff from this, from somebody else, from Wikipedia, from professors who knew more than she did. Christopher Rufo proved it. Let's go through the book. Look at this. Only about half of the students served by public schools in the nation's largest cities received diplomas. Word for word, she copied from NBC News. No attribution, no footnote. Next, please. This is a big paragraph. In Detroit's public schools, blah, 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 25%, 35%, all these. All right, let's see. Who did she copy that from? NBC News again. No attribution. Keep going. The whole book is like this. High Point had its first face-to-face meeting with drug dealers from the city's West End neighborhood on May 18, 2004. The drug market shut down immediately and permanently with a sustained 35% reduction in violent crime. Now, you got to change the words a little bit. Nope, she didn't. I mean, we've all been in school, right? We all kind of, every now and then in an emergency, but you got to change it a little bit. Let's see here. Same thing. These people at High Point, she ripped you guys off. John Jay College of Criminal Justice did some studies, and she copied them. Keep going. This is plagiarism. The Midtown Community Court was established as a collaboration between the New York State Unified Court System and the Center for Court Innovation. Again, word for word, copy and paste. That time from Wikipedia. Do we have more? We can go on like this. Yikes. I don't want to read the whole thing, but the courts work in partnership with local residents, blah, 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 blah. No, she didn't do the whole thing. She did the whole thing. Again, from Wikipedia, which I don't think you're allowed to do in academia. West Palm Beach, Florida. This residential neighborhood has all kinds of crime. All right, she's kind of getting a little bit more. I think we have one more. The community is full of deteriorated houses, businesses. This is bad stuff. If you get busted for something like this in college, they might just ask you to leave college. But she has a partner in crime in this, Joe Biden. Joe Biden, right? Hold that thought. Christopher Rufo, well done. Christopher Rufo discovered all this stuff. This guy's amazing. Kamala Harris plagiarized at least a dozen sections of her criminal justice book, Smart on Crime. According to a new investigation, the current vice president even lifted material from Wikipedia. We have the receipts. Yes, he does. Of course, the fake news is trying to downplay this. Oh, that's not plagiarism. It's just plagiarism. This is plagiarism. We know they think they can. No, she's busted, just like Joe Biden was. Joe Biden, partners in crime. You know, it's ancient history, I guess. Shouldn't be. Joe Biden shouldn't have been eligible to run for president in 2019, 2020. The way he conducted himself his entire life and got busted in 1987. Front page news in the New York Times. The guy was busted for plagiarism. I mean, are we the only ones who know this stuff? He had to leave the race over this. It was a huge scandal, as it should have been.
Democratic presidential candidate Joseph Biden today faces a controversy. 3 weeks ago at a debate at the Iowa State Fair, he used phrases identical to those delivered by British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock.
Why is it that my wife, who's sitting out there in the audience, is the first in her family to ever go to college?
Why is Gladys the first woman in her family in 1,000 generations to be able to get to university?
My ancestors who worked in the coal mines in northeast Pennsylvania and who come up after 12 hours and play football.
8 hours underground and then come up and play football.
It's because they didn't have a platform upon which to stand.
There was no platform upon which they could stand.
Wow. And that was just a couple of speeches. Joe has been doing this his entire life, all the way back in law school when he's in his 20s up in Syracuse, doing very poorly academically, by the way. He got caught again. Take a look.
At Syracuse Law School, Biden was involved in a plagiarism incident. He quoted 5 pages of someone else's work without proper citation. He was given an F, but appealed to the faculty and allowed to repeat the course. He got a B.
And he owes a great big apology to my alma mater, Fordham University, because he was copying from the law review at Fordham. So here's his original work. The trend of judicial blah, blah, blah options in various jurisdictions has been word for word. Implied warranty of fitness is actionable without privity. I would not have copied that if I were him, but that's how he rolls. Take a look at this.
But CBS News found a tape of a second instance.
It reappeared in the New York Times with a new charge, that Biden had appropriated a famous litany from the late Robert Kennedy about what the gross national product cannot measure.
It cannot measure the health of our children,
the health of our children,
the quality of our education,
the quality of their education,
the joy of their play,
or the joy of their play.
Biden gave Kennedy no credit. He has also quoted or paraphrased John Kennedy, Hubert Humphrey, and British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, all without credit.
Seems a little psychotic to me. RFK, by the way, that little snippet, I believe that was my college, Fordham University. He spoke there before I was born. So let's go through this. Joe declared in June of 1987. Then everybody found out that he couldn't stop lying and copying, and he was a great big phony, and he had to drop out of the race just 3 months later. Interesting. Kamala Harris gets into this race. Nobody votes for her, nothing, right? On July 22nd. It's about 3 months ago now. 3 months later, we're finding out about the plagiarism. And, you know, you could say, well, the book came out a long time ago. What else can you say? It's plagiarism, all right. And that book helped her. It helped her. It got her on the Today Show, right? She was able to laugh and giggle with Matt Lauer. And what was she doing right around that time? Getting ready to run for state attorney general against the man on the left. His name is Cooley, I think. We had him on the show. You know, she barely won that race by just a couple of, like a point and a half. So, I don't know. I don't like this. It should be a much bigger story. Stay tuned. It may become one. In the meantime, J.D. Vance, who will be, I believe, the next vice president, actually is a genuine author. He doesn't cheat when it comes to writing. He sat down and wrote Hillbilly Elegy, a genuine bestseller, not like one of those books politicians write, you know, and they make donors buy them or they give them just, he's the real deal. And he was all over Kamala's plagiarism.
I saw today, actually, a story that Kamala Harris apparently copied some significant chunks of her book from Wikipedia. So if you want a president with their own ideas, vote for Donald Trump. If you want a president who copies her own ideas from Wikipedia, vote for Kamala Harris.
Sounds good, JD.